And then I felt really guilty because I was like, oh, I know I'm taking Theo, but I'm leaving the rest. Does anyone else feel like that? Like people who have adopted animals, do you ever feel that horrible pang when you're leaving the adoption home and you're like, oh, I've only taken one? Hey, everyone. So this is my new boy, Theo. Well, his full name is Othello. And I adopted him in July, a few weeks after I lost Ozzie. So look how cute he is. So cute. And I only ever get black cats because I just love black cats. And he is 10. Well, they said he was like 10 or 11. They weren't 100%. And I just fell in love with him. When I first requested him, because I saw he was the only black one, and I was like, I want the black one. And then the woman was like, oh, he's one of our longest residents, like in the adoption home, and he hasn't had that much interest. I was like, okay, he's mine. Like straight up, he's mine. Like I need him right now. Look at him. Look at him. Look at the doll beans. I can't. Sorry, I look like shit because I've just come back from a run. I can't. Look at the toe beans. So yeah, she was kind of like, I went to the adoption home. Well, he was on respite because he had been taken by another member of staff just to give them a break from the adoption home because he had been there for over a year and he had had very little to no interest. So I said to my husband, I was like, he's ours. Like, I'm taking him. I don't care. And then my husband was a bit more reserved about it. He was like, but I don't want to get an old cat again because like with Ozzie was 6 when we adopted him. And then he died 4 years later. So he was actually 10 when he died. However, Ozzie had heart problems. So when we adopted Ozzie back in 2021, he had a heart murmur and we knew about it because they told us at his adoption home. We went to a different one. They told us about that. They were like, look, he's got a heart murmur, but don't let that put you off. It's under control, etc. So with Othello, we were like, look, could you tell us if he has any underlying health issues? We just want to make sure that we can give him the best possible care. And, you know, we don't want to repeat. We don't want to have him for 2 years and then he dies again because it's just heartbreaking. But then I also felt sorry for him because being 10 and being black, no wonder that people don't want old cats. And I do get it because they don't want to go through the heartache, but I could not leave him there. I was like, he has to come with us. He's literally mine. I don't care. I'm not leaving this poor boy. And when we went to the adoption home to visit, just to like, for him to meet us and we meet him, his kennel was like right at the back of the corridor. Let me just adjust this, hold on. His kennel was right at the back. So we had to walk past all the other kennels to get there. And all the other cats, some of them I couldn't see because they were like hiding or asleep. But some of them were just sat there staring at me like, and I know they're sad and I get it. Like when you go and visit cats or dogs in any kind of adoption home, you want to take all of them, right? But we can't. So as soon as I got to his little room, he was sitting at the top of this shelf thing. You know, they have all these little things for them to like climb on. He jumped down so happily and he came straight to the door and was like scratching at it to try and get out. And then the woman in the adoption home, she was like, I'm going to let him out so he can like sniff you and you can stroke him and cuddle him, whatever. So she let him out. He came straight to us, sniffing us, like rubbing himself against us. He was just so sociable. And still, even when we left, I mean, I already knew at this point, I was like, he's mine, 100%. I was like, he's definitely mine. Isn't it, baby? You knew I was your mummy and I knew you were my boy. Sorry, I know I'm just telling everyone your story. Okay. But yeah, I knew he was mine. But even then, like, I didn't need to meet him because I knew he was going to be mine. Because I knew you were going to be mine. Anyway. And then that was it. I was sold. I was like, okay, put him in the cat carrier because this is my child. I'm going to take him. And that was the story of how me and Othello became mother and son. Thank you for joining. Look at the little ear flick. Oh, baby. So as I was leaving, I just had like a little sneak peek in the other kennels. I didn't see many cats. I just saw one tabby and she looked really sad. And I was like, oh, my heart is breaking, because you feel so guilty, Theo. Like, you feel guilty because you've taken one cat and you've changed that cat's life. And then you're like, oh, I'm even worse now because like I haven't saved all the other ones, even though it's not our responsibility. We can't save all of them. It's the same with kids. You can't save all the kids if you want to adopt kids. You can't save all the cats. You can't save all the dogs, no matter how much you want to. And then I felt really guilty because I was like, oh, I know I'm taking Theo, but I'm leaving the rest. Does anyone else feel like that? Like, people who have adopted animals, do you ever feel that horrible pang when you're leaving the adoption home and you're like, oh, I've only taken one. I should take 2 or 3. But we know realistically, for those of us who live like your bog standard normal lives and you have jobs and whatever, you can't. Like, I would love to have more, but there's only so much you can do, and I want to make sure I can give Theo the best life. Isn't it, Theo? Look, Theo. You're so handsome. I'm a handsome boy. Say hello to everybody. Say hello. Look, we look alike, don't we?